I'm getting a little bit excited about this website. Finished the registration page, which I'm going to talk a little bit about programming because I think a lot of people don't know the same thing that I know, and about this awakening and understanding life. There's a Mandelbrot set that I've been talking about for a long time. It's the science that proves there's patterns within patterns within patterns within patterns. Metaphors are your best friend because if you can see a pattern in one place and understand that pattern inside and out, metaphorically speaking, you can see all other things. If you can see one tie as to, is this the same pattern as that? The one that you don't understand, you can find your answer by understanding the pattern that you do understand. So, and programming, okay, there is another aspect of science, the bigness and smallness of reality, that there's like a quantum world and a universal world. And what's in the quantum world is identical to what's out in the universal world. Science has proven that as well. Do some research. I ain't here to give you university courses on everything. I'm here to condense everything I learned into simple language. But you need to do your own research to figure out what truth is. I'm just telling you my conclusions of everything that I've explored. Programming, the computer and the internet is the bigness of our world. It's the universe. It's not quite as big as the universal world where the planets are, but it's the same thing. It's outside of our bodies. It's outside of ourself, which means it's outside in our universe. How far in universe? That's time, that's space, that's distance, that's measurement. But anything that's external of the human body is the universal world. And everything that's in the universal world is what we tend to understand about ourselves. So when you see the internet is the global consciousness. It's how we connect with each other, that you have to send and receive information. And that is how the internet, when you're doing programming, it's, when I'm doing this registration page, I am loading the information onto the page. And there are so many different ways of doing that. And one way that I'm part of the page that I'm doing, I'm pulling information out of a database. There's a whole pile of stored information that I want to appear on that page. And just think of that page as being a flat world. It's not a 3D world, it's more of a flat world. And I need to move information from one flat world to another flat world, another page. And so I need to put information into a container. And then that container can be now moved to another page. But it's very much similar to life. The whole website is like I'm producing a product. I'm producing something. I'm producing a thing, exactly the way a couch would be produced, or you'd make a house, or you'd make anything, any particle that you're making into is what I'm doing. I'm making a website. But it's sort of like code. It's out in the air waves, the waves that we can't see, is how I make it work. Some people need to see the nail, need to see the wood, need to see things to make something work. But then there's another area of expertise where people move stuff that you can't see and moving information that you can't see. And that's the same. There's a lot of relationships to how human beings send and receive information. Lots of times the information needs to be in a container, like in a letter, in an email. We put information into our phones, and the phone carries that packet of information into something else. But these are all things that are we observe in our outer world, our external world, but that is what's going on. That is our human capability, our full potential. We can do everything that a computer can do. Now, when I get back to programming and how it's relating to life, I have an end goal. I have this website that I have an objective that I want to lead people down. That's what every product is. I want you, everybody wants to lead you down someplace. If I build a car or a car, or I build a couch or any stuff, I've got to guide other people to wanting it, to using it. To, you know, if I build a couch, then I need somebody else to use that couch and, you know, purchase it and put it in their house and make it look good. And if it looks good, then maybe somebody else will want it. Like you have an end result that generally um, benefits self for whatever it is that you're doing. So myself is building this website um, because I see it as a solution to a problem that I'm dealing with. I don't like the world I live in, so it's like, okay, we got to change the world. And there's a lot of if statements involved. And, you know, it is a matter of like guiding sheep down a certain path, and a lot of that is the information that's going from one page to another. It's in a container, and how I manipulate that information to go from one page to another page is exactly what these elites are doing. It's exactly what the marketing world does, is they manipulate you like sheep to go to the page that they are trying to direct you. And how they do that is done with programming. And if you think that there's not a relationship between, well, if this is blank, do this, or else do that, or do while this is happening. You know, I have to assume what it is you are going to do and what it is. I can only guide you down a path you want to go into. So I can only put words there that make you inspired to do something. And as a programmer, I got to know what would make you do something. And then I got to inspire you to do it. So it's like I got to make you happy at all times. So if everybody understood what computer programming was like, you can see how you are being programmed. You may think you have an idea of what would work, and then you go and test it out, and it doesn't work as good. You know, and if we all seen that every day you wake up, you have an idea that if I do this and I do that, then I do this, then I will achieve the end result. And then you experience it and you find out didn't work so well, and you have a lot of excuses and a lot of complaints, and oh, society didn't work my way, or you have, you know, a lot of reasons why it didn't work out. But you have to do this error checking. You know, if you want to find out where you went wrong or where the problem is, then you got to find out what it's not. And when you can find out what it's not, then it's easy to find out what it is. What is the cause of the problem? And that's one of the things that humanity is not doing. We are not doing our error checking very well. We are not finding out the main causes to why the project's not working out, you know? And a lot of that has to do with what our illnesses, um, nothing is real. The getting sick, dealing with a mental illness, dealing with every and any type of problem is an illusion that you choose to believe is as real and as solid as a couch or a computer. You know, but it is all in your mind. It is all based on what you believe to be true. And um, there always is a different way. Um, One of the main reasons that I wanted to put this website together, the selfish reasons, don't like my world. And we think that solving this global problem is going to be a major, major, big, huge thing. And if you're looking for something really big and huge and complicated, you may not find it if the answer is really, really simple. Um, One suggestion I'm going to put out there today on this website, I want people to log into, which is the registration page, but I want to start connecting us all together. You got to admit that we're disconnected from each other, and our economic systems depend on us being connected. Right now, we are totally connected with the money that's owned by these elite people that, let's face it, they don't know how they're going to save us. I mean, it's the Oprahs, the smartest people on the planet think population is overpopulation is a problem, and their idea of solving is to make everybody sterile so that they can't reproduce. Yet they're not looking at the cause of, okay, everybody's having sex. Like, why are we having sex that gives unwanted children? Or, like, we're not associating the fact that, okay, the more you make a human being feel unloved, and sex is like, even if it's for a second, the chance for you to feel love, then you're going to have sex. Especially if every single product that you consume, if we sell everything on sex sells, and every single product that you consume is associated with sex because sex sells, and then wonder why we have an overpopulation problem, and yet the only people that are profiting off of sex cells are the people that are thinking the solution is to sterilize everybody. Yeah, that's their solution. Why? Because they don't want to stop profiting off of the sex that sells. They want to keep profiting off of the negative behaviors. So they're not going to solve the problem when they see they are the ones that are the problem. They're going to just, okay, we're going to still have the sex cells, but we're going to make sure everybody can't populate. But then in the end result is, if nobody can reproduce, then then the population will eventually decrease, which means there won't be anybody to cook your friggin' food for the elites or buy whatever product you're trying to sell because of sex, because you now ended our race because we're sterile. So if you look at the logic of where their rules take you, and all you have to do is see what they say. I'm going to continue in a different tape.